Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and lately there's been a lot of brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards revealed for the last few days, and I have fallen behind. So instead of making 3 individual videos on the 3 brand new support, I'm just going to condense it all into one major video so that you can all enjoy. So we got some new Skull Servant cards, we got new Dragon Ruler cards, and we got new Heraldic Beast cards, which is really exciting. So let's just get straight into this. Let's start off with the release order. So we got 2 new Skull Servant cards, which is pretty awesome. We have a new main deck monster, Mosey of White, and a continuous spell, White Master. So let's get into this. So first things first, the new main deck Skull Servant is actually pretty solid as a normal summon for the deck. This card has the ability on normal or special summon, so you can 1-for-1 for this card. Basically, on normal summon or special, you can add a Skull Servant from your deck to your hand. However, you are locked into zombies. And you also get an additional normal summon for a level 4 zombie monster this turn, which actually feels pretty nice because that means you can actually normal summon Solitaire or normal summon Unizombie in the same turn. You normal summon this guy who already searched you a Skull Servant, which feels pretty nice. If you don't know what Skull Servants are, they're a really old archetype. They're all based around a vanilla that came out in the legendary Blue Eye set, which is the first set in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. And it's all based around these goofy little skeletons. And it's a really cool archetype. And I'm glad they're actually getting some new support. We've been getting slow drips of support throughout the last few years with like White Prince and White Baking. And now we have this. So I'm really happy. Next, we got a new continuous spell. This is called White Master, which sounds really racially motivated. I'm not going to lie to you. So, yeah, what does this card do? It's a continuous spell. It gives your Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servant piercing damage, which feels nice. If you don't know, the whole deck revolves around King of the Skull Servant, which is an old legacy boss monster. It's basically Grand Maju Deiza for zombie decks. It gains 1,000 power for each Skull Servant in your graveyard. And all the Skull Servant monsters, including the new one, Mozzie White, all have the effect that they are treated as treated as Skull Servant while engraved. Basically saying, hey, you just want to dump as many Skull Servants as you want into the graveyard in order to then just pump up your king to punch really hard. However, because it's basically just vanilla, we do need some new support. Thus, this continuous spell does give the archetype piercing damage, which does feel really nice. Next, let's talk about what else this continuous spell does, because it was just that effect, that would be ass. However, this card actually has 2 really good bonus effects. The first effect is, hey, you can send a lovely Skull Servant from your deck to graveyard in order to reborn King of the Skull Servants, which is actually kind of insane. So if you don't know, this card's basically Foolish Reborn and 1 card, which is kind of crazy. And it's activate main to do this effect, so it's not on activation, meaning you can just send and add and reborn every turn, which feels really nice. And what I'm getting the add part from is because if you said White Baking or you said Prince, they will then add our additional Skull Servant to your deck to hand, which is pretty awesome. And this card is searchable off the brand new White Mozzie. So you can go normal summon White Mozzie, search this continuous spell, normal summon Unizombie, send White Baking, or send Prince, do Prince effect, then proceed from there, activate this card, send Reborn, the King of Skull Servants, and then pump up your King of Skull Servants as much as possible, and then punch your opponent really hard, even if they have a defense position monster, which is really fun, really goofy. Now, does this support make the deck meta? No, not at all. Does it make the deck funny? It's always been funny, so is it more funny now? Yes. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. Next, let's talk about the brand new Dragon Ruler support, which is actually pretty awesome. So, yes, we got some new Dragon Rulers. Yes, they're pretty awesome. Do I think there's going to be more Dragon Rulers? Absolutely. So let's talk about it. So first things first, we have a brand new level 2 Light Dragon effect monster. This is Spectre, Dragon Ruler of Rays. It's 600 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect discard thing once a turn. You can discard this card and one other Light Dragon monster or Dragon monster to add 2 Dragon Rulers monsters from your deck to hand, except himself. If this card is, you can banish this card and one other light or dragon monster from your graveyard. Target 1 Calamitous Dragon Ruler of Auras in your graveyard. Spell summon it. I'm assuming that's the new XYZ. Next we have Nibulus Dragon Ruler of Shadows. This is another level 2 Dark Dragon effect monster. 1000 attack, 600 defense. Same effect as the first one. You can only choose one of the effects once per turn in that turn, so you can't do both. Get discard and one dark or dragon monster. Target 2 of your banished dragon ruler monsters with different attributes, except himself. Spell summon him, but it can't attack this turn. You'll banish this card and one of a dark or dragon monster from your graveyard. Target 1 Eclipse Dragon Ruler of Woes in your graveyard. Spell summon it. Again, I guess we're going to get to that. But either way, pretty solid effects. One adds back from banish. Actually, one spell summons back from banish. And the other one adds 2 different names, which feels pretty awesome. Next, we have the brand new Calamitous Dragon Ruler of Auras. This is the new, what's called Light Dragon Ruler. I guess the Light and Dark Dragon Rulers are in the main deck, they're in the extra deck. This is a rank 7 Light Dragon effect monster. 3000 attack, 1600 defense. It has 2 level 7 dragon monsters as material. You can only use the first and second effect discard name once per turn. Quick effect for the first one, you can send 1 level 7 dragon monster from your deck to grave. Detach 1 material from this card. This effect becomes the sent monster's effect activation by discarding itself. That's actually pretty insane. So if you don't know, this is basically saying, hey, I am going to just send any dragon ruler from my deck to grave, and because of which one I send, I copy its discard effect. All the dragon rulers have discard effects. At least all the level 7s do. So let's actually go over those. So Inferno, or the Buster, he is a removal. You can discard him to pop a card. Tempest is Foolish Burial. No, wait, my bad. Tempest is an add. So Tempest can add any dragon ruler. So this literally just says Foolish add. Or you can send Redox, and Redox is a reborn for a dragon ruler, which is pretty awesome. And then we also have Title, which is another additional Foolish. So this card is either Foolish Reborn, Foolish Add, or Foolish Pop, which is pretty awesome. And then this card is destroyed by battle, or this card leaves possession by owner's card effect by destruction. Spell summon 1 level 7 dragon ruler from your graveyard or banishment to float into another dragon ruler, which feels pretty nice. Next, we have Eclipse Dragon Ruler of Woes. This is a 2700, 1900 defense, dark rank 7 dragon effect monster. It also requires 2 level 7 dragon monsters. You can only use the first and second of this card on turn. And this card is XYZ summon, target 1 level 4 or lower dragon ruler in your graveyard or banishment. Spell summon 1 level/rank dragon ruler that mentions it from the deck or banishment, then shuffle the rest in any order. When your opponent activates a spell or trap effect, quick effect, detach 2 material from this card and get the activation if you need to banish that card. So this is just a quick effect, spell and trap negate banish, which is actually kind of insane, with the additional effect of getting a free material on field by spell summoning it from either the deck, extra deck, or banishment, which is actually pretty insane. Next, we have our final main deck extra deck monster. We have Disaster Dragon Ruler of Pandemonides. It's a level 7 light dragon effect monster. 0 attack, 0 defense. It requires 2 rank 7 monsters, so I'm guessing you have to use the 2 ranks we just mentioned. You can only use the first and second of this card name one turn. And this card is XYZ summon. Target 1 level 4 or lower dragon ruler monster in your graveyard or banishment. So summon 1 level/rank 7 dragon ruler monster that mentioned. Oh wait, I'm reading the wrong effect. My apologies. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once a turn. And this card's XYZ summon target up to 4 Dragon Ruler monsters in your graveyard or banishment. Attach this card to it as material, then banish all monsters your opponent controls or in graveyard with the same attribute as this monster attached to this card. If you have a light, dark, earth, wind, and fire, all the attribute Dragon Rulers as material, this card gains 4,600 attack and defense. It's also unaffected by other card effects. So this is already insane. So this card's basically reading, hey, if you can set up your normal combo by getting all the Dragon Rulers into rotation, either in your banishment or grave, and you can summon your 2 level 7 rank, or 2 rank 7s, and you can somehow end on a back row that can help quick XYZ. Basically, you get a quick effect search or pop with Dragon Ruler of Auras. You get a quick effect spell and trap negate with Dragon Ruler of Woes. Then you can quick XYZ into this guy who will become unaffected by your opponent's card effects, and he'll banish all cards your opponent controls and in the graveyard with every attribute, because they'll banish all their light, dark, earth, water, and fire, and wind monsters, which is kind of insane. And he's also 4,600, which is also incredible. So, do I think this support's insane? Absolutely. Next, we have Chronobolus, or Draco Calamity. This is also a quick play spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once a turn. Special 1 Dragon Ruler monster from your hand, graveyard, or banishment. Then immediately after this resolves, XYZ 1 Dragon Ruler monster using Dragon Ruler monsters you control as material. During the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target any number of banished Dragon Ruler monsters with different attributes, return to the graveyard. This card's really, really good. However, it is not searchable. So I think we need to find another mechanism to quick XYZ on our opponent's turn. And there's a couple of options for that. The XYZ armor package can help you search an XYZ rank up, and that rank up can make any rank up on your opponent's turn. So if you can play this as like an engine in like some other deck that can search that rank up trap, that would actually just set this all up pretty nicely and feel pretty good. Overall, I think these cards have huge potential. I don't know how the deck will go from here, but all these cards do not lock you into anything. And they also all seem pretty good. So I think Dragon Rulers have huge potential to shake up the metagame. Finally, last night we got some new Heraldic Beast cards. So let's go over these. This is new Heraldic Beast Griffin. It's a level 4 Wing Beast effect monster, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. If you don't know, the Heraldic Beasts are a rank 4 strategy that needed desperately some support for the longest time. And we got some new support, so let's get into this. Its first effect is you can send one Heraldic Beast monster from your deck to graveyard, except himself. Spell summon this card from your hand. Then you are locked from the extra deck, except XYZ summons. During this turn, only using Heraldic Beasts or number monsters in its original name as material. Interesting. Then, if this card is treated as 2 material for an XYZ summon of an XYZ monster that requires 3 materials. That is actually pretty insane. So, the Heraldic Beasts are actually a rank 4 strategy, but most of the rank 4s require 3 or more materials. So, this monster literally says, no problem, fam. I count myself as 2 materials. So, that whole thing about making them 3 materials to do something, yeah, no, you just need 2 materials. It's actually kind of crazy. Next, you have Heraldic Beast White Whale. It's a low 4 water fish effect monster, 900 attack, 1900 defense. You can only use the first, second effect of this card name once a turn. This card normal spell summon, discard 1 card to add 2 heraldic spells / traps from your deck to hand. Make a banish this card from your graveyard, target 2 heraldic beast monsters with the same name in your graveyard. Spell summon on the defense position. Also, you can spell summon monsters from the extra the rest of the turn, except using XYZs using only monsters with heraldic beasts or numbers in their original name as material. That is crazy. So basically, this card is saying, hey, you can add 2 heraldic spells from your deck to hand. And then it also says, hey, you can banish this card from grave to then spell summon them in defense position. But it targets 2 heraldics in grave and spell summons them. And if you don't know the heraldic spells are insane. There's I think one of the heraldic spells is like a double add as well. So this whale is literally saying, I'm going to add 2 spells. That spell is going to add 2 different cards. And when this card's in graveyard, you can banish it. Target 2 Heraldic beasts with the same name, and then spell summon them, which is pretty insane. So you get double summon, double add, double add. Kind of incredible. If you really want to modernize Heraldic beasts, this is the way to do it. Next, we have number 69, God Madium Coat of Arms, the God Shatterer. That's an insane fucking name. This is a rank 4 light psychic effects monster. Attack 2800 defense. Defense 1600. It requires 4 level 4 monsters. You can also XYZ summon this card using 1 monster you control, whose original name is number 69 Heraldic Crest as material. If you don't know Heraldic Crest, I believe it's one of the older ones that require 3 materials. So it's basically saying, hey, make Heraldic Crest. Heraldic Crest, I think, is like an ad. So that's another ad for the deck. Then you just slap this thing on top. And then this one can then just do its thing, which is when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field, or your monster declares an attack quick effect special 1, number 69 Heraldic Crest Dark Matter Demotion from your extra deck using this card's material. When destroying a monster your opponent controls, this is treated as an XYZ summon. So this is a quick XYZ summon, which is pretty insane. Next, we have the God Medallion Coast of Arms. This is a rank 4 light psychic effect monster. 3100 attack, 1900 effect. It can't be destroyed by battle card effects. It's a level 5. It requires 5 level 4 monsters. Once a turn quick effect, detach 1 material from this card. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It's treated as an unknown. Wait. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its name is treated as unknown. The monster effect activated by this opponent resolves. If the monster name is unknown, negate the effect activation. Well, it just turns the monster into a fucking unknown card? How does that fucking work? And it's forever? That's a new kind of ruling. And finally, you have Medonian Flash or Heraldic Flash. It's a quick play spell. You can only use a second for this card's name once a turn. Target any 2 number or face-up monsters your opponent controls. Their names are treated as unknown. During the end phase, it discards in your graveyard and controls second XYZ monster. You can set this card, but banish it or leaves the field. That's a new kind of ruling I have never heard about. I have never heard of unknown as like, oh, I'm going to turn your cards into unknowns. So basically that's cards saying, hey, they're not, like let's say you have a Sprite Jet on field. That monster is now an unknown monster. I'm assuming that means we don't know its level, we don't know its type, we don't know its archetype, which is kind of crazy. That's a really interesting effect that we've never gotten before. We'll just have to see if it's any good, and if any more monsters will be getting that effect. But if not, that's kind of unique. Anyway, that's all I got. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't think it's stupid. See you next one, and bye-bye.